Record.
Okay.
Give me like 20 minutes, 19 minutes, you gotta.
All right, so my two-person, I got a couple things here. Let's watch this thing first. Hey, you got anything? Watch it again.
Oh yeah, Steve went.
Is there any call here?
It's kind of hard to tell.
Hey, whoa, any call?
Could be a T.
Could be a T?
Could be.
Could be?
Could be.
Watch it one more time. You're at this game. This is from Bellevue last week, or 2 weeks ago. This is live during the game. Is he successfully hanging on that rim in your opinion?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Who made the call though? Look at the end.
Outside officials.
Watch.
Pretty
Was that the outside official?
I thought you said who should be the one that making the
Oh
call.
no, who made the call?
Who made the call?
Should the lead be making that call?
No.
All right, good. Hey, we're moving right along. I like you guys.
Thank you.
Well, so anybody.
Yes, the league should make the call if the two outside officials don't make it.
All right, did you hear that from Mr. Jason Kreider?
I've heard it.
He says if the two officials outside, and the obvious dunk and hang and twist and pull, don't make the call, then make it. All right, thank you, Jason.
That's what I said.
So here's a situation where we got this guy, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. The lead's over here, and the ball is right here. So should that guy stay way out here now? You can come all the way over to here, just like you do in a three-person game. This doesn't happen very often, but it may happen. So I think I have a clip on that.
Hey, one thing, make sure the trail doesn't swap back over to the other side. I've seen that happen a few times.
Okay, so what he's saying, if he comes over here to the trail, don't come back over to here. It's your responsibility to stay on your side and come back around. Is that what you said, Gary Doherty?
That's correct.
Gary Doherty, he's a winner of our Ironman Award, Iron Person Award. He hasn't been here, so raise your hand, Gary. Yeah. Nobody cares. I care, little Gary.
Thanks, Rod.
Okay, by the time the board gets out here, we'll be done with this meeting. All right, so I got to go to my Kreider file because that's where I put it. All right. I was down at the WAC just see if I can get any kind of
Financial advice?
what? Okay, so I only went down there only because we're at the WAC here. I stayed there for a whole half to see if I can get a situation where I can get that guy to rotate. I even told the guys that's what I was looking for. But it really never happened. I even have them switch sides because most teams are right-hand teams, everything goes on the right side of the court, and they were lined up that way. So in this situation here is Casey. He's our lead official. Should he be going to here?
Yeah.
I say no. There's no post up here. We got a bunch of guys across the front here. I don't think that's a good time to move. But if these two guys were in this corner, that might be a good time. Somebody's posted up. But, you know, I'm not trying to say that he's supposed to go over there because there's a few more people over there. There's got to be a reason to go there, right? Right, Ira?
Correct.
All right. Good job. Okay, one more thing, and then we're going to bring up Jason Kreider. If I can get this one open. It was just a random thing I saw at the beginning of the game, so I thought, let's look at it. And, oh, there we go. Jump ball. Pay attention to the ball. What happens here? Okay, he's got the ball right here. It's hard to see the whack. Here's the center line. Again, I'm doing it with my mouse thing here. Here's the center line right here. It goes straight across there. He's got the ball. He's going to hand it off. He'll pass it. I'm looking to see if this is over and back. Okay, we'll just stop it there. It's hard to see from your angle. Looks like his foot's on the right side of the court, correct side of the court,
Yeah,
so it's not over and back. What if he was on this side and you caught the ball and passed it to him?
it's over and back.
Hey, life is so simple. See why we have these meetings so we're all on the same page. Hey,
Can we go
we had
back,
our board.
can we go back to that two-man rotation situation?
Wow, really?
Sure.
Are you serious?
If the trail official's on the right-hand side of the court as they're going up. You don't have to go back there. I'm just saying that if the trail official,
Hey, I can't hear the young man.
trail officials say on the right-hand side of the court,
The trail,
right?
okay?
And they pass it over to the far left of the court and they start working their way up there, especially if they start getting some double team situation. Is there anything wrong with the trail initiating the switch by going over to the left-hand side of the court and lead sees that and he comes across?
In my opinion, no. Especially in a rec game, no, for sure. And even in a school game, it's pretty rare for the trail to go on that side. That's maybe had some real trapping going over there.
Unless they're over here getting trapped and we needed the stripes on that play.
Which is a good point. We take it. So everybody understand what he's saying. Why would the trail ever go across the side in a two-person game? Because you got a big trap going on over here, a lot of people on this side. That's a good reason. But you stay over there, and then the lead would switch.
In the middle of the court.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're dark.
nothing wrong with coming over there. I'm saying the trail should be able to initiate the switch there and have the lead come across.
Hey, mostly rare,
Just toss
but
it
no,
out.
I know, I got you. That's why we're here, right? Thank you. You're a nice young man.
And you were a nice young man yourself, sir.
Most I was young, I really did.
You two are from the same era, right?
All right. So, looking over here, it's time to go here. Jason Kreider, repping the D. Give him a hand. I'm going to be his, technically because we're recording. That's why we use the mic, because we're recording. You really can't hear the voice on the recording, it's just a little camera. So, you want to see my play first?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. EC, so I just hit EC.
Just watch the play. Can you guys hear me? All right. I was asked how you get your block charge calls right. Well, one, to get your block charge calls right, you got to get in the proper position. Proper positioning equals better play calling. So you got to realize this is just a clip. Get to about the 5-second mark and then pause it there. So in this clip, we got Rod Thornley out at the trail position. If we could back it up a little bit, which we won't have it, go to second 5, play it up to 5 seconds and then pause it.
That's 8.
Oh, that's 8.
Is that too far?
No, keep going. Mine was different. Pause it when you pivots. So what I'm getting at, if you look up here, who probably has the best angle at this call, if we could actually blow it up, what I was looking at from my computer screen, the head coach has the best position on this play. So if you're looking, our lead, there we go. Our lead should be at close down. The ball's here at the elbow. C's in good positioning, trail's in good positioning, but the lead should already be at close down. He's not even in the picture. If we're going to get this play right, lead should be rotating as of now, should be in the middle of the key before the ball even got to the elbow. But now as we continue, freeze it as he elevates. Okay, right there. The lead would have been over there, could see this play. Lead's still not in the picture. That's not helping. Here's the head coach. This is what I'm getting at. He's refereeing this guy. Rod's got to look, but 32 will step up, and Rod makes a pretty good guess on this play. But he gets the play right. And you tell me if he's not guessing. Who's in his way?
32.
So, I mean, Rod probably, with his knowledge and years of experience, recognized that secondary defender, how long he's been there, and then put a whistle on the play. No one else did. Center's not in a good position. Center should have 10 and 2. 10 and 2 means all 10 players, your 2 officials. All 3 officials should have all of that every time in their positions. So, if this official had been over there, he's not 10 and 2, and if he would have been 10 and 2, he could have probably helped. Rod definitely could have helped on the play if he would have been center here. Back it up to the ball on the elbow. Right there. So if we have trail here, lead here, Rod would be the center. I believe this is the kid who takes the charge. Run the play. Watch him. And if Rod would have been the center, Rod could have reffed that whole entire play. And what do you think? You got it right?
Yeah. Probably not that time.
Come on, give him a break.
You know what I like about it though, is you can tell Rod gave the other 2 guys an opportunity to make the calls.
That is correct. I'm just going with block charge, but it's a patient whistle. He gave the other 2 officials an opportunity because of where the coverage area is. Being it's on the center side, right? So we all say it's the center's play. Well, it's a two referee play because it's a secondary defender sliding over. And if the lead would have been in the lead position here, he would have been refereeing that play. Hence another reason why I'm saying it's a good guess. Because if you look, ball was here, he's going, secondary defender slides over, there's no way Rod saw secondary defender the entire time. And what I'm also getting at is you got to referee the defense. And how do you referee the defense? You do that with good self-talk. You know your coverage area, you know your primary. Find your 2 guys in that primary area. I usually am saying, I got number 10, number 24. Then someone rotates in, someone rotates out. But you need to be talking to yourself because it keeps you focused.
Let's look at it one time.
Go ahead.
Look at the offensive guy as your primary, rather than referee the defense. Ref the offense on this one. We should have done that first.
Go back and pause it at the elbow. Right there, pause. So right now, let's say I'm picking up pivot foot. Because I believe he travels on this play. But I'm picking up pivot foot. That's self-talk. I gotta find the pivot foot.
You as what position are you in?
What?
Where are you refereeing?
I'm refereeing right here, center. Finding pivot foot, because this is where the ball's at, this is the way the formation is being the system. Gotta work the system. Right now, center's here. He goes. Exactly. So find the pivot foot, good self-talk, but hang on, keep it there. So he's got the ball here. You're looking in between the defender. Why do we miss travels? Because I'm like 75% refereeing the defense. 25% I'm seeing the offense. If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's a travel. You'll see it. Don't split hairs. Splitting hairs means you're setting a precedent in your game, especially if you call them early, such as over and back. I mean, the over the back that Rod was showing. I'm glad we didn't call anything, because they're going to want that call all game long, anything close, if you get what I'm walking into. Okay, so this is a good clip here. Go to the other 2 clips and we'll see what we're talking about in terms
One
of
more thing
positioning.
that I have problems with when I was doing lead, and I mean, if you're ball watching, you're watching the ball, so you're watching the guy with the ball right now. You're not watching the secondary guy. By the time you pick up the contact, you don't know what happened because you're just watching the offensive guy. So if you're a person that watches the ball all the time, you can see the difference. Just try it. Next time you go out to a game, focus on the defense. All right.
Is this making sense what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Go to block 3, charge 3. We'll just watch the play again. Go one more time. Okay, when we're looking again at clips, it's not about whether we get the play right, it's how do we get the play right. So we're trying to get back into positioning. Leads here, Woody's getting down to center. Remember, you gotta be 10 and 2. Woody needs to help on this because most block charge plays at the hoop are secondary defender plays. So it's a 2 referee play. So if Woody would have been at center, he could have stepped probably high because the kids go down and maybe peeked in here. If he would have stayed here center and kept up high, he might have assisted on this play. But here's the lead. He's refereeing the defender, and he's got a block. Anybody else got something different?
I think,
Go ahead, Mike.
I think the one thing this play shows you too is obviously Woody is late getting into position. If he had already beaten everything down and been in C position to begin with, I mean, the trail is further down than they are. If he's already in a C position, he can make the position adjust to see the play as opposed to just walking into his home base position. So
There's some truth to that. Here's the trail, right?
it's almost the same.
He's refereeing the ball. He's got 2 guys in front of him. He needs to be out here.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
if he's out here right now, guess what? He's going to have this look here. And then he's refereeing this defender.
Is this a rotation?
This is the kid that takes the charge right here, okay? So that's who the lead is, and that's another thing. Stop.
It is a rotation.
It looks like a rotation. It's how the lead went from closed down back out. He turned his shoulders away from the play rather than just backing out 10 and 2, seeing all 10 kids and your 2 partners. If you know baseball, the catcher has everything in front of him. If you divide 3-person up, the way the 3 angles dissect the court should overlay each other and everybody should see everything. So,
You know,
now go ahead, Mike.
So I think maybe what happened was if we'd seen the play earlier, I think what actually happened was the lead must have just rotated.
That's why I don't like clips, 10-second clips, because if you make them 30 seconds, you get the full play and the reasoning why we're looking at how to get the play right. So what Mike's saying is it looks like there's a rotation because of how he's coming across.
And
I
that's why
believe
the
it
trail
wasn't, but it's hard to tell. So for this instance, he's here, he should be refereeing this defender. Trail's on the play. Woody should be assisting because he's got nothing here. This is his closest competitive matchup. Here's the next closest. Now, is the kid sliding? Yeah. Did he have his 2 feet planted facing the defender? Does he take it a little bit in the shoulder?
Yeah.
Well, from the guys I go and watch and study all this stuff, and that'd be the NBA guys, they tell me that's a charge all day long. They say the block charge call is the easiest call for them to make because they find the defender, they know if the defender's there, and anything by reading rule book from inside the shoulders, and if the kid sits down, it looks like a charge, it's charge. The most important thing is you're setting a precedent in the game, as we'll see, because the next flip is the same game. As a crew, you got to be consistent. Go ahead, next flip.
Hang on, can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah,
So, the defender was drifting a little,
sure.
but we're gonna give him the drift
Because you can
the
do what?
offensive,
You can slide obliquely.
Not when the player's airborne.
Not when they're,
Right, so there he's airborne and you can
when
still
he's
see
airborne, he can slide obliquely. Wait a minute, in college, so help me, Mike, because this is high school, and I need help with rules.
Right, high school you can't.
Fair enough, then this call's correct. And I'll ask for help on that, because I know plays. I don't necessarily know our high school rules, and there's different rules. Is this the next clip? Yeah, here's the next clip, yeah, 4. Here we go. Freeze it right there. Freeze it once he puts the ball on the ground, if you can. It's a quick freeze. Yeah, right there. Perfect. Okay, are there any questions on this? questions overall with what we covered?
And, hey, Jason, that
Scott?
part right there, basically, that trail official gave away the call, because he's already going the other way. So if Woody would have come out, was like a block,
Well,
watch the whole thing.
here's the deal. Rod's on ball, right?
Yep,
Woody's eyes are in the post. Secondary defender.
got it? So keep going. So right when Woody makes the call, look what the trail's doing. He's going the other way.
Yeah. So what you're saying on it?
I'm saying that if you're not just staying stationary, you already gave away the play. Like if it's going the other way, the coach guy, well, you were going the other way. You had a different call.
Yeah, but he's looking at Woody. I think Woody's giving a preliminaries. He's looking at Woody,
Yeah.
and Woody's giving a preliminary. Just run the clip, Rodney.
Just because Rod moved and initiated something that you think, he didn't signal nothing.
Well, I understand. But
If it's striking up a conversation with the coach, he didn't ask me a question, therefore I'm not answering anything. Did you guys hear that? I answer questions from coaches, not statements. What I'm getting back to is Suzanne's last meeting, how do you talk to coaches? Get your plays right. Answer questions. Don't wake up a sleeping giant. Because they will come and they'll have more questions, and they're looking for the answer that you probably won't give them. Any other questions on anything we've covered? Hopefully I was clear on what I was trying to get at, being as a lead, you got to get in the proper position of 3-person mechanics to help put your crew in the best position every time the referee on the floor, whether it's a 2-person referee play, whether it's a rotation. So that's why we all got to hustle. Bottom line, if we get in proper position, we get our plays right, then we don't have to talk to coaches and make John's life easy.
All right, let's give Mr. Kreider a wonderful applause. We've got more clips out of our Zoom meeting, because what else can you do at a Zoom meeting? A couple things from your vice president, that'd be me. We had to move the brainstorming session because it's supposed to be this Monday, except the test isn't out. John says it's supposed to come out like tomorrow. That'd be kind of hard. So I just gave us 2 extra weeks on the 14th. So if you're interested in attending, please send me an email so I know there's 10 people coming. I'll sign, or you can choose to do some questions. And we'll have a bunch of people coming there, so you don't have to do the whole thing. We'll go over it. So there's a bonus for you. I'm giving up my Monday night just for you guys. Hey, remember Who Wants to Be a Leader? If you're interested in the board, keep that in mind. We are going to do a PNBOA celebration. We looked at the survey, took some notes. We'll have more details, but it's going to be like the third weekend in April, or the weekend after spring break, for if you're a school type of person. And that's all I had there. Oh, one other thing, a couple of members brought to my attention was that when we talked about Eric Briggs talked here at the first meeting, the association doesn't want people doing all those kind of games. We really appreciate guys that do that, but it's not the theory or the philosophy of the PNBOA for guys that work 7, 8 games. Unfortunately, we're in a position that some guys have to do that, but it's not our intent. So don't think that you have to work 8 games a day. It's a duty that you have to do. You do not have to do that. All right, and I think that's all I have on that. Next up, we're going to finally play a little Kahoot game, so hustle up. This is a pin. You guys ready? I'll bring it up. Supposed to do this last 2 meetings, but I got long-winded board members, so we put it aside. So I put it way in the agenda, so they get pushed aside instead of my Kahoot. That's more important, of course. All right, so here's a number. We have 1. Who's this? You're a winner. Who's PFS? I got a prize for the first person in. You get this. Congratulations, you're a winner. PNBOA special.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
One thing I hate about playing Kahoot is you have to win, you got to be the fastest person. So I up the thing.
Give us a second.
Okay, I put that pin up there at the beginning of the meeting so you guys can see it. Hopefully you got your devices out. You already plugged this in like these happy people. The winner gets a big prize, all expense paid dinner with our assigners at McDonald's. Oh, A&W root beer. Remember those days? Pony True Dogs, Switzer Lizard, 76 BS, that's Sharp DB, Sports SK, Sean, Sammy, LH, Riceland. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That's only a third. Let's go. Give it a try. You can still participate even if you don't have a phone, even if you don't answer questions. You can still get into it. Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry. What's that?
Yes.
Yes, I'm so sorry. How does this game actually work? Is 4, 4, 6 that what I send to, or do I?
Kahoot, what is it? Kahoot.it? Kahoot.it.
Kahoot. Well, right here.
Put the pin in, that's that number right there. 446 5767.
And no space?
No space.
5, 7, 6, 7. Enter.
Someone's gonna ask you for a clever name, like Rod Thornley.
Okay, I'll put fanny pack.
Hey, am I waiting for anybody? Because we're gonna get going here. Raise your hand if I'm waiting for you, otherwise you're gonna go. Did you raise your hand? Was that
No. Stretch.
Stretch.
That's weird, I put in a screen name and it gave me a different one.
All right, so where's my number? 17 people. Last call. Going. D got in there. Oh, look at that. 20. Anyone else? I'll wait for you.
1 second.
I'll give you all the time you need in the next 15 seconds.
Oh wait, what am I supposed to do from here?
It's going to give you a question and you answer it. There'll be a screen that will have different colored boxes you check on.
Oh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can still get in the game, by the way. I think that number appears down below. Start. Meeting number 3. Why is Rod laughing?
That's the question.
Because he's working with you.
Is that one of the answers?
Why did my screen?
I get the 20 or I give you the time, or I get bored. You should know by now. 2 more people. All right. Yes, I had no idea about a call I just made. Sorry about that. RV, the leader. True or false? Topic, hair adornments.
Wait, what's the question?
It's in yellow. You read that in yellow. It's true, false. Don't give me answers away.
Chuck Corelli, is this for you? Should be true.
All right,
It's
true.
not my line.
We talked about that. Remember, metal, is metal good this year? Metal clips?
Yes.
They have to be what though? Securely fastened. Good work. Good job, Mike. All the extra time you got that day paid off. RV, you're still winning. All are true when the behavior of spectators interrupts play. All these are true except.
Blue one.
15, 16. I got my slow readers, that's okay. I'll give you a few more seconds. Ooh, one more, there we go. Oh, we're all over the board. Whoa, that's not the right answer. All are true. I can't remember my answers. I think I answered this one. This isn't the right answer. It is? Mike, is this the right answer?
I think the ref has to know. I don't.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, it doesn't go to the head coach. That's correct. Correct answer is correct. Uh-oh, Rising, let's go. Which statement is false in regard to POEs? Remember those? Another mic conversation.
I'm not getting answers coming up.
6 people got it right. That's right out of the book. I tried to trick you, and I tricked many of you.
Which statement is false?
Who, girl? Is that you, John? Multi-select, there's more than one answer. RSBQ, mark all that are correct. Yeah, correct ones. Gonna go fast on this one.
Are you standing on a chair in that picture?
No, I jumped off the chair. All right, so spacing was the one that wasn't right. So if you had a blue one, you 7 people hit the blue, you were incorrect. I'm sorry. I just began with S. What is it? What is S?
Speed.
Thank you. Good work, speed, if you didn't hear the answer. See you, little girl. RV's back. Referee magazine. Hopefully your free magazine that you pay your dues for, so actually it's not free. So go ahead and read that. All are true, except what do you think, Ira Dunbar?
I think I'm sitting in my own business.
All right, the game shall proceed to overtime is incorrect. Everything else was correct.
Nobody wants overtime.
RV, you're rolling. Where is this? This was in the first meeting. A lot of these questions were from the first meeting. I added a few, so your memory's shot. Spokane, everybody except 3 people. Nice work.
Yes.
Let's go, True Dog. Did you read this last month's newest edition of Referee Magazine? How many people read those questions? 2 people, not bad. Simultaneous violations. All right, 14 got it right. Good work. You're not
You
getting all these
clicked that
right.
before the shot clock expired on the left middle. Because the shot clock wasn't at 0 yet.
Okay, it wasn't the shot clock. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
You talking about the previous question on the traveling call?
No, this one with the purple circle circling around. Although this isn't the first time he clicked for the answer before the shot clock went off.
Oh, I got you. He's talking about that.
That shot clock.
If I get 21 people in the game, then everybody's done. There's no need to wait. Or if I just want to be mean and move things along. Yes, sharp. Way to get in top 3.
But then I don't know how many seconds I have left to shoot.
Look when it gets to 20. You better be bold by then. Which rule covers officials and their duties? Got to read the rule book. You never been to Emerald EOC camp? What's that called? What's the name? Always ask somebody to come up here and give us the 10 rules.
Oh, yeah, Nixon does.
Nixon. I learned that every year. You never picked on me because you knew I was studying. I got 24 people now. Gary, nice picture, you and Leslie. Room 2. Wow, look at you guys. Need some work. How are you ever gonna find something if you can't find something?
Wait, did that go down to 20 seconds yet?
I don't know. I don't look at the clock. I gotta drive.
So you're a fast breaking coach.
Yes, sir. A1 falls to the floor while holding the ball or after being airborne and catches the ball. Could you demonstrate that for us, Ira? Can they throw you the ball, you jump in there and then fall down? Hey, true false. You don't need a lot of time on this. Come on, let's go. Fall the floor to the ball. Catch the ball in the air and you fall to the floor. Saw that just the other day. You feel bad about the person so you don't call it. But it is true. It is a violation. Hey, a couple more questions and we'll be moving on. Jump, stop, pivot from our first meeting. What you been in the sun? Why are you so tan? Doing soccer? Outside soccer? Spring? Hey, this is not good. I'm doing this in my class, and we're doing this, we're not doing a good job of teaching. We see how more people get all these answers right. 2 more questions. Here we go. When is the next meeting? If you know an answer, you're not supposed to say it out loud, but you could be faking somebody out, right? Depends on who said it.
I think November 10th is a great answer.
General meeting.
None of them are right.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't want to set the meeting dates. What were those? I have no idea what those were. What were you? Never mind.
Trick question.
Who's oldest to youngest?
Trick yourself.
Just looking at wild guess.
All the same, all of them are the same.
They're all old.
We're not going to give away any ages. You know, only I know the real answer. What ages?
That's 300 years in there. Plus or minus 10.
Hey, sorry about that, Ed, but I'm not giving any ages. We're just giving seniority. You look better than me.
You're embarrassing.
I'm embarrassing myself.
You see, I thought the last.
All right, RV comes in first place. Ryan in second. True Dog in third.
Well, I must say that I thought the last answer was gold, which I answered correctly. Well, I answered almost nothing correctly, though. But the reason I thought the last answer was gold was because of the Golden Girls, you know. And you guys are all making fun of old age, and so I thought of the sitcom, The Golden Girls, I used to watch all the time in the early 90s as a kid,
What's your,
after school.
what year are you? In association. Be kind.
Wait, in this association?
Yes, sir. What
Oh,
year?
two.
All right, good job. Thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, I win. Who's RV?
Me.
Who's me?
You don't win anything.
Board members not supposed to win anything. Otherwise, it's great. I'll take the prize.
Just because I know the rules.
It is now.
All right, top 3 people get winner. 2 is second. Rising, where are you at?
I'll take RVs.
Who is third?
Really, it's looking at gold.
It's gold.
There might be a ticket in there. You can go to Chocolate Land or whatever that place was. What was that movie? That's one of my favorite movies.
Willy Wonka.
Thank you. Who was third?
Not playing next time then.
Gene Wilder.
It was me, get my name.
E.T.?
Because of my age, what happened? Because you got put into a question. Thank you.
Got your head, your beard.
You up? send a stick in here?
Tell me how good it is. I'm gonna save it. Last time.
Give it to me now. I don't want you to put it in your pocket and give it to me. There was a big one last time. Just put it in it.
Okay, can everybody see that? Everybody can see that? So I'm gonna try to do this somewhat quickly because I don't want us to stick through this all night, but we did have a conversation in the last meeting where there was a specific request to like sort of look into our budget. So I'm gonna preface my remarks by saying, I wanna show 2 key slides to you, and then we'll take a few questions, but then I don't wanna like kill the meeting by having this be a long discussion, so if folks have more questions, then I'll stick around and Randy will stick around after the meeting, we can answer those. And then I just wanna say, if you see this stuff and you think to yourself, I have a proposal, please make that proposal to the board. You're gonna see there's some places where we're still working on this, and so there's opportunities for proposals to come up, okay? So I look at our budget in 2 buckets, okay? One is that we have game fees that come in, and we pay most of that money out to our 2 independent contractors to assign games, which is exactly what we should do. Now, you all know that the WOA, that we do not pay officials for school games anymore, right? That money gets paid directly. So it's a little different than it used to be, which is why most of our money goes to assigners and not to officials, right? Because most of our money comes in from school, okay? The money that does come out from games is rec games. So what you're looking at here is our income on the left based on 2021, okay? And you will see that the vast majority of our income is WA school games, all right? More than $90,000. The other chunks are summer school, those are also assigned by John, and rec games by Selena, the dues and banquet money. That's actually this year's projection, not last year's number. And then the small slices of the PNBOA Academy, it's like $75 for everybody who signs up. I'll just throw out the PNBOA Academy, just basically pays for itself for the most part, so that's just money in, money out. Okay. On the right, you will see just our expenses in our 3 buckets. So I'm just thinking about school revenue, actually this is all revenue, but I'm thinking about specifically where the money goes out. 11% to Selima, about half in John, and then the rest of it is money that gets used for the rest of our budget, the other expenses that the association has. So I think about like school money in and rec money in, how much do we pay to the assigners, and then the rest of it can go into our budget. Now I just want to make a note here, this is 2021-22 expenses, so that number in the bottom, rec assigner pay, that is based on really low rec game rate, okay? We're about a quarter of where we were before COVID in rec games, so you'll see that reflected in the budget. Any questions on this slide? All right.
How do you become a signer? How do you become a school signer? How do you do that job? School assigner.
You work extremely hard, that's how you do that job.
Careful what you wish for.
All right, so then then the second slide here is a look directly at the rest of our expenses, okay? So in this slide, I have taken out the money that gets paid to assigners because I just want you to be able to see the money that comes in that can go to the rest of our expenses, not our assigners, and where it goes, and how much we have left at the end of the year based on this upcoming year's budget, okay? So you can kind of scroll through and see exactly what these things are for, but I'll just highlight a couple things. One, we don't pay any money for meeting rooms anymore. We trade Bellevue College for the use of this room in exchange for the lower rate that we get out of the academy that we charge because we don't pay all the officials who are in the academy for those games. You will see that we pay some money for rule books. We have some technology stuff that some of you who've been around for a while probably have not seen before, like G Suite is how the board communicates. You've probably seen we now pay for Zoom, right? One of the things we did do this year, you've noticed we switched to the Google form for the MSA. That's saving us more than $1,000 not using DocuSign anymore. So that was a big move we made to try to save some money. One I want to call out is you see the banquet number, which I think is the largest, second largest number on there. The banquet never pays for itself. And so one of the things we're trying to do, why we sent out the survey, is to figure out is there a thing that you would be more interested in that also might cost us less money. And so STAR's working really hard on that. So it's the ability for us to sort of come up with some cost savings. And then you'll see some of the other things that are in here that come up to our expenses. But that 27,000 number, if you were here in the last meeting, you might recall that there was this whole conversation about we have so much money in the bank. And I'll just tell you what it is. On November 2nd, we had $115,000 in the bank. For a couple reasons, we cannot spend that money down to like 10 grand. One of them is that we still front money every month. Now that we pay rec fees every month, or we pay rec money out to officials every month, we still front money that we have not yet collected for games, we still are paying out to officials. So in September, that was more than 10 grand, right?
50,
Yeah, 15.
14 grand.
October will be more, right? And so we do have to have a certain amount of money in the bank to make sure we can pay that money out before we collect the money. The second thing is, this is not the first year we're going to run a budget deficit. We've run a budget deficit for most of the last 6 or 7 years. This is also not even close to the largest one, like by a lot, not close to the largest deficit. And so some of you heard me say that I think we're solving two problems here, right? One is, what do we do with the money that's in the bank? Because we don't have to have as much money in the bank to pay out for school games as we used to. However, what we still don't know yet is what a regular rec season looks like. And so I think that it's probably going to be another year before we can have a better picture of how much money needs to be in the bank to do those advanced rec payments. Probably could be even longer. But Selena is really picking up the number of games, so we'll see how far we get. The second thing is that spending that money now is not going to help our budget deficit, right? We have to figure out how we spend less money than we bring in. And that's not a new thing for the association. We have some fixed costs that we're working on. We also, quite frankly, you all know, things just cost more money than they used to. So we're trying to figure out how to balance bringing in more revenue with lowering costs. So these are the things that we're working on the board. We look at this information every month. We have many conversations in between those meetings. But I want to make sure you guys can all see this information and this data, and you see what we see when we have these conversations. And we go out and make sure the accounts receivable are dealt with. John and Selena do a good job with that. We look at our contracts, we look at our observations, and we looked at everything to figure out where are places to generate savings. But mostly what I would tell you is we don't bring in as much revenue as we used to because we're at a quarter of where we were on rec, right? And so we have to identify just how much are we going to recover that, and then we have to plan accordingly from that. I'll take any questions if folks have questions.
And to help kind of emphasize the money we're paying out for all the school games John assigned in September, we're still owed all that money, all the school games in October that you guys are getting checks next week or the week after, the 15th. All that money's still owed to us. We're not going to see that money until the end of November, right? Selena's got 2 tournaments next weekend that we're going to pay you guys within 7 days. We're paying out that $15,000. So of that 115 we have in the bank, well, it's not 115 anymore, but there's 30,000 of that that's going to go out that we have to cover until those people pay us that money. Just because of the way the billing works, and we have to, John has to send an invoice, right? Those schools have to have time, those people have to have time to pay that invoice, process it, get the check to Kirk. So, of that 115 this month, month, we're gonna be $30,000 that we're upfronting to our officials to pay, so that you guys have money in your pocket right away, that we're not gonna see that money until the end of the month, beginning of next month.
So I'll just reiterate, the P&Ls are on the website now. The most recent one is from 21, 22 is on the website, so if you want to look at that. If you have any more questions or ideas about this stuff, let us know.
So question, so you talked about the banquet number being a big number. Is that one you're looking at saying, we're just going to not, if you drop that down, you go to 12 or 13, you have a rec number you're talking about. You have 115 you're sitting on now. There's a buffer you need to pay things. That's a lot of moving parts. What's your burn rate on that? You look and say, hey, if we do this, we're going to run out of dough or get to a level of not much comfort in order to front for paying things. Is it 3 years?
That's a good question. So the way I'll put this is, first I'll answer the banquet question. The answer to the banquet question is definitely we're looking at lowering the cost of it. We budgeted based on how we previously budgeted it, and so the hope is to spend less than $15K. The losses, I would say, have been bumpy. So it'll be hard to just give you a projection. Is it 3 years? Is it 5? I will tell you, for one, before COVID, we were starting to see some losses, but I think Kirk and Ray can tell you, we're about a half of what we were in assets before COVID. So 160 or so when you look at the number, but it matters when you look at the number because of our in and out on money. But 1920 was a huge loss, obviously, because we incurred almost all of our expenses, and then we stopped collecting revenue in March. So we lost a lot of revenue from March to July. And so you have to throw that out if you're looking at that trajectory, but I would say, if you were to throw that out on average, we're probably in the 25 to 30K annual loss range.
So it's probably
So it's probably 3 years.
a 3-year number before you look up and go, hey, wait a second, we're not going to pay you until we get paid on rec sort of things.
That's right.
So there's a lot of moving parts here.
Well, in part, when you say there's a lot of moving parts, the way I would say it is inconsistent is the way that we collect and spend money throughout the year. And so there are some times when we probably would need a lot of money in the bank, and there's some times when we really don't need that much because we're not paying that much money out the door. And so it's hard, that's why it's actually hard to even pinpoint. That 115,000 number I asked Kurt was on November 2nd. In a week, that number is going to look a lot different. So it's like, that's what we're trying to figure out is how do we project that out now. And that's why I think it's going to take a little while, because we also don't know what our revenue from rec is. We just don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we don't know. And it's going to be hard to know probably until at least the end of this kind of fiscal year when we see what the spring and early summer looks like.
Hey Ben, I just 3 quick ones. You say fiscal year, was one of my questions. Are we on a fiscal year or a calendar year?
We go July 1 to June 30.
And then is it QuickBooks that we're using? Or
Yes.
the accounting system and cash or accrual?
We're changing that, right?
Well, the previous CPA, we're recording revenue as accrual, but expenses as cash.
And for those of you guys who don't know, Kirk Lyons is our new accountant. He started with us this year. He's been at the association for a long time.
Yeah, cash and accrual, you know that's not gonna work, right?
That's what previous CPA's done. We have had some discussions on how to properly report things better than the previous 20 years. That is a big discussion.
All right, other questions? And then I just want to be able to. One more.
He's trying to intimidate me, but I still haven't gotten paid a single penny for the 2019-20 season.
Yeah, we'll take that. Let's take that out.
That's awful.
Off on the side.
Out in the back.
All right, thank you guys. We'll come back. Let us know if you have any questions.
Julian. Julian.
Good job, guys.
Just talk. Oh, yeah.
Hey everyone. So the deadline for the MSAs have passed, as we all know. So if you still haven't done yours, please do it as soon as possible. Again, you cannot be assigned until we have that. So if you're having any problems with it, just email me. Speaking of email, you don't need to email me to ask if I received yours, because I'm getting a lot of emails about that. There's not enough time in the day. W9s, for those few people who do need W9s, please email Kurt directly so that that you take care of that without a third person involved. So if you need a W9, just do that. Meeting attendances. I apologise for the incorrect sheets today. I was on the wrong tab on PNBOA. Mike saved the day for me, but a little too late. So I will transfer and you will get credit, so thanks for that. If you are missing, if you are not here, please let me know once you've watched the video so that you do get credit. There will be fines this year if you have not attended the required amount. So be warned, beware. Transfer tryouts are done and dusted. New members, please let me know if you are missing any information or need any assistance with getting into Arbiter or, you know, getting credit for meetings or anything like that. Books. John, I need more books, please. We need more books. Do you have any at home, hidden away? We've got some avid readers, apparently, and we no longer. I'm down to the last few books. So if you need books, let me know, and John, we can chat. You need books? Okay. Does anyone have any questions for membership? Okay, cheers.
You can always sign up with the NHSF online and get their books for $5 for a whole year. Put it on your tablet or whatever, in case you can't get a book that most of you don't read anyway. You just want to have books that lie around. I know you guys don't read the rule book. You need to know what rule 2 was. Come on. Scott Federley.
All right, just a couple updates on evaluations for this year. Last year was the first year in a long time that we didn't get one of our observations removed from the total because we didn't have enough evaluators. So last year you only got 4 evaluations. This year we're going to go back to having 5 evaluations, 4 in person, 1 video evaluation, and your lowest score will be dropped. So we're going back to the way we've always done it. We're working really hard with the schools to get better quality video. For those of you that got video observations last year, you probably noticed that the quality wasn't all that great. And for us to be able to get graded on a game, we got to get better video. So Mike Sawyer and Mike Seidel went to the NPSL meeting last week and handed out Penny Davis's business card. Penny's the one that is our evaluation coordinator, and they stress the importance of getting good game films to Penny so she can assign that out to the observers. Kelly and I are going to the Kinko meeting this week, and Mike Lloyd is going to the Metro meeting. So we're going to cover all the major leads we have and stress the importance of getting the video to Penny so she can get it assigned out. So that's really the only changes this year. We're still not doing peer ratings. The varsity officials are still evaluating JV officials, but as in the same thing last year, if you don't do...
I got one spot.
Michael.
Is there going to be an evaluators meeting again this year?
Good point, okay. I forgot that part. Yes, there will be an evaluator meeting. Penny Davis, who I mentioned, is our evaluation coordinator, and I will mention that Penny also is the national coordinator of all of women's college basketball. Penny grew up in this association and has gone on to do bigger and better things at the national collegiate level, but she still stays around and runs our observation program. She is going to have a meeting on November 15th. I believe it's going to be at 7 o'clock, and we'll get this out in an email, and we'll get this. It's going to be a Zoom meeting. Penny lives in Arizona, and so she'll be meeting with the evaluators. All the officials in our association will be invited, so so you can see what Penny talks to the evaluators about. So we'll get that information out. We're also going to record it. So those of you that cannot go to that meeting, and for the evaluators that are not going to be able to attend that meeting, they will also be able to go on and upload. I think that's going to be on YouTube. Is that right, Benson?
Yeah, I'll be on the PNBOA YouTube page like all of you.
So that'll all be available, and you guys will all get the information on how to get to it. Thanks for bringing that up, Mike. Anything else?
Scott, it's important you update people on the evaluation manual. Will be updated by the end of the month.
Yes, that's what I mentioned that. Trial is working on updating that now. It'll be updated by the 30th. And for those of you varsity officials that plan to actually go out and do observations, and you don't have the forms, I have them up here. Come see me after the meeting, and I'll hand you some more forms.
When do observations start?
Observation will start the first Tuesday in December. I don't know what date that is. 6th? Observation will start on December 6th. Okay, thank you.
And a note, coming up next, not next, this Thursday, right here in this room or room across the street is a varsity only meeting. That's for varsity officials. And if you've been promoted from the registered list, you're supposed to attend that meeting mandatorily. I don't think anybody's told you that yet. But if you are on the registered list and you're now on varsity, you should come to that meeting. It's right here at 7:30 this Thursday. What's the name of that academy that Nixon, those guys do? I always get the name wrong.
ECOA.
ECOA, he mentioned about Penny being the coordinator nationally, but there's a guy in that did ECCOC, whatever it's called. Rastatter, Pac-12 official that you may know from there and from the academy. He's also the new assigner for the whole NC2A for men's basketball. So you might have had that guy give you a tip or two. Chris Rostad, thank you. FYI. Cece, do you have anything for us? No. Awesome. Mr. Emmons, anything? Cool. I'm switching mics. Scott Fairley did. Julian did. All right. It's time for the great and powerful, wonderful Salima. Julian, what do you want those people to say when they, for credit, want to say, varsity only meeting? That's what you tell Julian when you email her to tell you saw the videotape. Varsity only meeting.
Sounds good.
So these are the tournaments. Some of you have already gotten your assignments for the Friday and Saturday. I have not worked on Sunday. I lost power for 14 hours. So I will work on the assignments for Sunday, the 13th of November, probably tomorrow. And then once I get them done, I will publish them. 2 different tournaments with 2 different formats. So my email that I sent out on the 31st goes over each type of format, depending on which site you're in. One format is 16-minute stop clock. The other one is 22-minute running clock. Pay is also different. As Randy had mentioned, you will get a check within 7 days for this tournament. So all the games that you've worked for this tournament only, not the other rec games you've worked, just this tournament, you'll get probably mailed out by early, I'll say by the 14th, no, by the 20th-ish?
The checks will be mailed on Friday after, for sure Friday.
Okay, the 17th. The checks will be in the mail on the 17th. There are changes. The schedule is very tentative. Team info was not plugged in when I got the schedule on Thursday. Therefore, there may be changes coming in tomorrow. So if games are adjusted, it's because the schedule has been adjusted. Please be on time. What does on time mean? 10 minutes before your start time. Not at game time, but 10 minutes before. If you are running late, let me know. I have a very good relationship with the AD running the Cedar Park tournament and the Falcon Classic. They will call me up when someone's not there. And if you are running late, I need to know ahead of time so I have an answer. But please leave early, please plan for the weather, please plan for traffic. The 11th is a day off for some, so there may be less traffic, but don't, just plan accordingly. Be on time. Let's see. Next tournament is the, Wildcat. That schedule probably will not be released to me until maybe the Tuesday or the Wednesday before the actual tournament. Registration closes on that Monday, which I believe is the 14th.
Are we getting that whole tournament, the Wildcat?
I think I am, actually. So this tournament that I have 2 tournaments.
That's a
I have
lot of
over
games.
270 games. Some of you are working a few games, some of you are working 7 games, some of you are working even more games, because that's what you want. So I am accommodating your request as best as I can, and when I can't, because I need the whole tournament to be filled. Other than that, Eastside Travel League is going to be starting up. We're going to have our Redmond League as well, which is also youth. So that's all starting up in December. Any questions for me?
I got one.
Sure.
This might be a dumb question, but how do you want us to handle one man? And if we have to do it by ourselves, what's the pay on that?
I assign 2 officials.
I know, but if one official, does that
That's
show up for a reason?
actually an ethics and grievance question today. Because 2 officials are assigned, and as it has been mentioned previously, you should confirm with your partner. So this way you both know you need to be there rather than, oh, my partner had the wrong day. So right now, 2 officials are being assigned. If I assign 1 official, at that point, I will let you know what's happening. But 2 officials are assigned. If your partner does not show up, and you have done all the confirmation, and he or she has confirmed, and they still don't show up, again, that'll go to ethics and grievance. But for that day, you will get your 1 game fee, and then the board will decide the rest. Any other questions?
So Leland, to answer that other part of the question, how do you referee it?
I know how I referee it.
Go from trail
What
to
are some
trail.
tips for you guys?
Yeah, go from trail to trail and don't overexert yourself.
I stay in the middle.
Now, the one thing I do
Exactly. Trail to
want to
trail.
add is, I will be at all these tournaments this weekend, from site to site, because my boys are playing, so I will see most of you there. Please hustle. That's the biggest thing. Please hustle. Show effort. I don't like lazy officials. Nobody likes lazy officials. And we have multiple tournaments with one of the directors, so we have to have a good impression. So they stick with PNBOA versus going outside and looking for someone else. So, thank you.
That being said, please rotate every few minutes. Don't stay on one side of the court the entire half.
Thank you. And by the way, I already work for trail to trail, no matter what kind of game I'm doing, because I'm old. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's the man with me now, the man. Here's Johnny.
It's a late night for him. Just a couple of things. I'll send an email out when the clinic's available, hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday. You need to get certified to be able to do any frost games up. So definitely before the jamborees start on the 25th, 26th, you have to be certified to work jamboree. And the regular season starts on the 25th, 26th, that's Friday, Saturday after Thanksgiving. And got tons of games and not enough officials, so That's typical year. If you know of any people that are still interested in joining, please get them to sign up. Jake's still running an apprentice class through the month, so we're still training people, and we could use as much help as possible. Any questions on anything? All right, thank you.
Look at your slide, take a comment on it.
What slide?
Traffic sucks.
Traffic speed?
Go Hawks. We got you, John.
All right, taking us out with a big cheer, here comes El Presidente, Mr. Benton Strong.
Great level of cheering. I just overheard your guys' conversation. The varsity only officials meeting is right here.
Okay.
Okay. So just
That's
you know, it's like a classroom.
I
Right?
know.
So you hear- reiterate that if you are promoted from the register to the varsity list, that's a required meeting. Everybody else, if you come if you choose, and even if you're not a varsity official and you want to see it, you can see it. It's fine. I'm just going to reiterate a couple things that were said tonight. One, I think it was 187 MSAs have been signed. If you have not signed your MSA, you are late. Get it done, please. You cannot get games assigned if you haven't signed your MSA. If you have questions, let us know. We're getting a lot of questions about jackets, so we just had this conversation. We just agreed that we're going to continue getting jackets from the wholesale vendor and then getting them embroidered locally. If you need a jacket, please let Randy know, and we will figure out how to get you the right size. Right now, we're out of larges and XL, so we're going to rectify that. So if you need a jacket, please let Randy know, and I'll send it out.
How about official shirts?
So right now, the best, quickest way to official shirts is to go to the WOA store, which you can access on the central hub on Arbiter. It's a link on like the bottom right of the main page on the central hub. I think they're on sale right now, like $44 maybe. I want to just raise something up for Scott, which is, we get a lot of questions about like registered officials who want to get evaluations. Please get out. If you're a varsity official, please, if you can get there early, take the opportunity to go evaluate registered officials, the folks working the JV games or the C games. I can tell you from my own experience, it's incredibly beneficial to hear from a varsity official about their experience and their skill set and their tips. It's not always the case that people take them well, and so I will put it also on the officials working the JV game. Just, hear it, right? And then you decide what to do with that information. But it is really important that our varsity officials get out, and I want to underscore one point. If you are a varsity official, and you're either working a JV game with a registered official or working a varsity game with a registered official, you can evaluate that official who's your partner.
Yes.
Okay, so we hear that a lot, like, oh, I did a bunch of varsity games, so I didn't give up. Ask your varsity official or partner you're working with to evaluate you on that game.
Question, someone asked that before. Is there a way that we can find out who are the JV officials ahead of time? Because oftentimes we went to the gym, those are the varsity officials working on the JV games. So, you know what I'm saying?
I've always wondered that question, John. I don't think so, right? Yeah.
There's no way that we can find
Arbiter
out.
doesn't really allow for that information to get shared with you. That's the challenge.
So we just have to go hoping that
That you know who they are. you mean?
JV observation, that JV officials actually working the games are varsity officials. So there's no way of telling.
Yeah.
Well, when you confirm with them, hopefully they would tell you, by the way, I'm gonna be there already because I'm working the JV game ahead of time. So hopefully they would let you know.
But I think you're thinking about when you show up and you're evaluating the game you're watching, right? Or are you talking about when you're
The game that before the
Yeah.
varsity game.
Yeah, you just have to ask them after the game.
Right, and as far as confirming the partner is, not everyone returns emails, just so you know. So sometimes I send email, okay, we have a game,
That's why I use text. I don't trust email.
So,
Isn't there a setting
Well, they
in
don't-
Arbiter
no, they
where
don't-
you can
no
actually look,
response.
because in soccer, I can click on the master schedule and see who's reffing every soccer game.
We don't do it the same way.
Oh, okay, well.
They're sneaky, they hide
Obviously.
All right, just got a few more things so everyone can get out of here on time. I heard some excitement about the rec game, so I'm going to reiterate something we said the last couple times for Selima. We are sort of doing the if you build it, they will come. So you got a couple big tournaments, you got to show up and work them, right? We won't keep getting them if Selima can't assign them. So I'm just imploring everybody, get out there, get up and down the court, hustle, work hard, and get yourself ready for the school season. It's a great opportunity to do that. The basketball gets really good in the fall, for the most part, right? So get out there and get to work.
So I can just follow up my question. Okay, now, the coaches and AD, they know the officials ahead of time, but we just don't have the access and arbiter to
There's a bit different access point.
different access. Okay, so we just, okay.
Call up the coaches and ask them.
I want to put out a couple of thank yous to people. The first one is to anybody who supported or led in the academy, so particularly Jillian, Jeff, and Manny, and then all the folks who worked on and off court for that. But I also want to thank all the people who are in the academy, and I want to do that in conjunction with the few people who have been on. If you are not on the PNBOA members Facebook page, there's been some good conversations about watching your own video, getting better, that level of vulnerability. Not everybody does that. It's beneficial to all of us. It's one of the reasons why people view our officials as some of the best around is because we work at our craft, we look at how we can get better. And so I just want to thank everybody who's involved with both of those things. And I'm grateful for all that effort because it takes a lot of people's time late into the night, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, a lot of work in the fall to help everybody get better. So I just want to say thank you to all of them for that. Last two things. Reminder about sportsmanship. All the coaches and ADs meetings are happening right now. 2 meetings ago I talked about, or I guess last meeting I talked about technical fouls, how they're going to go out. My reminder that if you just follow the rule book, you can always be defended. If a coach commits an act that is worthy of a technical foul, and particularly if you've already warned them, give them a technical foul. We're going to hear that from our ADs in the next couple of weeks. We're going to hear that from our coaches in the next couple of weeks. How is this going to work? And what we're going to tell them is, behave in a way that is unsportsmanlike, we're going to give you a technical foul. All right? Call the rules is written. Call the rules, actually, is how it is said now. But it is exactly that. It is pretty simple. And when we don't do it, we put ourselves in difficult positions because now we're trying to be subjective about our decisions. But if there is a situation that's unsportsmanlike, just call a technical foul. It makes everybody's life a lot easier. Or you can ask a question. Okay. Any questions on that? All right, last thing. This January, there will be 4 open board positions. You just saw some of the work that gets done. I don't want to elevate budget work because I know people think that budget work is pretty boring. But I've been on the board in kind of a monumental time of shift for this association. Some of the policies have changed, the fee game fees have changed. We dealt with COVID, right? There's a lot of things that this board does that affect the direction of the association, that affect how we get paid, how we do our jobs, how we get trained, all of that stuff. And it is critical that people with ability and interest and time, it does take time, step up and be part of that leadership. I think that we've shrunken the amount of people who have been willing to do that over the last few years, and I understand all of the reasons for that. And we're jumping back into full-time, normal basketball and normal seasons and normal planning that has to be done. And you just saw some of the important work that goes into it. And if we don't have 10 people willing to do that, then we'll be in a tough spot as an association. So I'm just putting out the call. For me, it's been a fantastic experience. There's been some serious challenges, but it's a really interesting opportunity to see how this board is run, how this association is run, and the different sort of levers that get pulled and actions that get taken to ensure that we're at least trying to offer the best opportunity for folks to go out and be successful. So this is my call out. Please think about running for the board. STAR will put it out in December for folks to get their nominations in. You can nominate yourself, obviously. It's pretty simple. The nomination process itself is pretty simple. And then in January, you just come up here and you spend 2 minutes saying why you're interested in it. So I'll just say that. Please run for the board. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here late on a Sunday night.
Sorry, for the.
No, go ahead.
I just have a suggestion for recruiting, because I assume we still have a huge number of people.
We're always recruiting.
Who have not returned. That maybe we have some type of reward for people who have returned, that go out and help bring that person back in. And maybe reward for that person to come back to the PNBOA, because those people hit the ground running. They don't have to go through a apprentice class, they don't have that,
So you mean like a similar incentive for returning officials to the folks who are in the back?
Yeah.
For talking Mary Roper to coming back and refereeing, I want a damn award.
That's a great point. I'll put it on the agenda for next one. Yeah, it's a great point. And her recruiting point I'll put out there, we didn't mention this in the budget presentation, but yes. So one of the things about our budget is we used to have well over 300 officials, and we have barely under 200 right now. So.
Remind them, we'll send out an email for dues, and dues need to be paid before the season.
Yeah, you will get a square link to pay dues this year. So you can pay them directly online. Okay, any other questions?
Just remember, if you're running from the board, don't run just because you have an idea. Your ideas could be run through somebody else or being on the committee. Make sure you have the time. It takes time. Time. You got a spouse, special bowling night, remember I said? Takes time. Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Gary wants his money faster.